These things are called monstrances. Good word, hey? Basically, it's a word for a certain type of religious artifact. And just look at what he's holding in his hand. Look at this antiquitech. That just looks like the top of a cathedral. It's like this is almost like a handheld version. You know, we can see a big tower in the back here with its antiquitech antenna. So yeah, that's very, very reminiscent of a lot of the old cathedrals we see. Is ancient tech being hidden under the guise of religious artifacts? Monstrance is a vessel in which the Eucharist host is carried in processions and is exposed during certain devotional ceremonies. Monstrances were modelled after sacred vessels for transporting the host or relics. In the 16th century, the monstrance took its present shape, a circular pane of glass set in a cross or surrounded with metal rays. The host is placed in a holder called a lunette, which fits into an opening behind the glass. And here we have a picture of a monstrance. Now look at the detail on this. All these gems. Here we have the crown, and inside, behind the glass here, is a place where you put the Eucharist. And the Eucharist is the bread that Christians eat when they go and have communion. In the Catholic tradition, at the moment of consecration, or at the moment of something made sacred, the elements, called gifts for public worship purposes, are transformed, people believe literally, into the body and blood of Christ. Catholic doctrine holds that the elements are not only spiritually transformed, so energetically, but they are also substantially or physically transformed into the body and blood of Christ, although the elements retain the appearance of the initial bread and wine. That's what monstrances are. So they basically, here we have a man in a dress holding one of these monstrances. As we see, we've got this shape, and we see this everywhere, right? This sort of glory of God shape. Here it is again. Same shape you can see, and in the middle here is where they're saying they're putting the Eucharist. Got our cross on top here. They've just been turned into religious ornaments for holding the sacred bread, which is supposed to be the manifestation of the body of Christ. Here we have a close-up, so you can see here's the glass in front of it, you know, another piece of glass, looking very portal-like, you know, looking glass. Now this one's slightly different. So you can see here that we've got the glass tube. Okay, and this one actually looks a bit older and a lot more antiquitech-y, doesn't it? If you look at these side bits, they actually look a lot like cathedral windows, and actually it just looks like the side of a cathedral here, doesn't it? Look at that. Over here, sorry, this one more traditional with the cylinder. So looking more antiquitech-y. You know, it wouldn't have been too hard to have the cross on these guys, because apart from that, it doesn't seem to have any religious symbols, does it? This one we've got angels all around it, and in the middle the big starburst. So this is looking like a later model maybe, but maybe these were just two different versions. I'm not sure, you know, who knows what went in these glass tubes, right? Here we go. Here's another one. This is from an old painting, as we can see, and this one you can see the glass tubes going sideways, but again, you know, looking very, you know, cathedral-like, the top bit here. Because you see, I mean, look at that one. Looks like a machine cog. So again, piece of glass, and you put the Eucharist in here, and then you just have these radiating filaments. And that cross, that's not really a Christian cross, is it? So again, could this be one of the sort of original older ones, and they've fashioned their newer ones on this? And you can see this one is a bit more intricate, looks a bit more, you know, machine-like, antiquitech device-like. So this one looks obviously a bit more old world. And you can see the same basic design and shape, but clearly this thing just covered in antiquitech, and it's even got the cross up the top, and someone's painted it with all the cherubs. We've got the light emanating, you know, which they love to tell us is the glory of God. You know, what is the glory of God, really? You know, obviously in the interpretation that we're given through mainstream religions, I don't think they're talking about the creation. It seems to be a misinterpretation. I mean, that to me looks like energy, or, you know, L, electricity, L meaning God, right? And then we have, look at these different shapes around the outside. And here we go, look at this one. Got our tube here, and in here we even have, look at that, an angel with open wings.